Hi, y'all. My name is Bailey. I'm the host of this podcast called Hey, Dad, Can You Talk? And this is just a conversation between me and my dad, Toby, where I call him about things that I'm struggling with, like parenting, marriage, my mental wellness. I'm just feeling overwhelmed. And so we thought we would record it so that you guys could listen in too. So let's go ahead and call my dad. Hello, Mom and Dad.
Hello, Bailey Di.
Hi.
Welcome to our special holiday edition of the Hey Dad, Can You Talk podcast. It's Hey Dad and Mom, Can You Talk? Ho, ho, ho. That's the episode.
And away we go.
So, this is a little different setup, but we thought it would be fun to do a little spin-off of a holiday episode since this will be our December release. And so I'm excited to bring on Mom and Dad together. We've been celebrating Thanksgiving and they're still here and we're prepping for Christmas, making plans. And so I feel like we've been quizzing them some when we're not recording. So I'd love to ask them some questions that I think everyone would want to hear. Some funny.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Is
How
that
do you
what you
feel
like
about
to
that?
do?
That's what I would
Oh,
like
okay.
to do. Are you good with that?
Hey, I did this because this is the closest your mother sat to me in about a week since we've been in Mississippi. So, whatever it takes.
Oh my goodness, whatever. She loves
Right.
you. It's just, when her grandkids are around, she's got to get all those snuggles.
There is no doubt about it.
Yep.
No
right.
doubt about it.
So this is kind of just going to be Q&A style here, and y'all can share the load of who wants to answer. So my first question is for both of you. When do you start listening to Christmas music?
Go ahead, dear.
Maybe 2 weeks before.
2 weeks? What about you, Dad?
Yeah, I'm with Mom. About a couple weeks before Christmas, we'll start listening to some songs, and so we're not tired of them by the time Christmas gets here.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, goodness. Because you know me, I love the Hillsong holiday stuff.
You're gonna go holy on us.
Yeah. Yes.
It is Jesus's birthday, so yeah, it makes sense.
Do you have one?
You can say that album. That's fine.
Me, it's Carrie Underwood singing "Oh Holy Night" may be the best I've ever heard in my life.
That's good. I was gonna say mine is NSYNC. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
I have
that's a good
heard
one.
NSYNC.
Song or NSYNC for me?
Yeah, which one?
And that does not sound like NSYNC.
Well, it's fine.
Hey, Prissy,
so
I'm trying to get her to move on, Prissy, so you won't turn us off.
One of the reasons I love that song is because of memories. Because growing up, Ross and I would have a sleepover Christmas Eve. I don't know how long when we stopped doing that, but this was when we were younger. We would have Christmas lights, and we'd have my big boom box or whatever they were called, and we would play the NSYNC Christmas CD, and that brings back good memories. So that's one of the reasons it's my favorite.
Yeah.
So, okay, what about when do you put up your tree? Are you pre-Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving? I already know the answer, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, now, people that don't know us, we just said we start listening to Christmas music 2 weeks before Christmas. Do you think we're pre-Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving? We are post-Thanksgiving.
Post.
Do you have any holiday decor up yet?
I have Christmas lights.
That's good.
But that's only because I didn't do them.
Because the company that puts them up had to come early.
Well, I remember growing up, Mom, you did like the Christmas village. You did you went all out for Christmas, I feel like. And then slowly you went down to a skinny tree and some other things. What happened?
Well, your kids leave the house, and the motivation to make the house Christmassy, at least for us,
Yeah.
kind of dropped a little bit. And so I think your mother went from, hey, let's get everything out, to, hey, we wouldn't have to put near as much up. We didn't put as
That'd
much
be.
out.
I wouldn't have to put near as much stuff up.
I remember.
Like, hey, honey, I'm sitting right here on moral support. You go right ahead. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Everybody needs a cheerleader, baby. Everybody needs somebody to tell you can do it.
I remember one year or a few years in a row, you didn't even take your ornaments off your tree. You just stuck it in the closet and then got it back out.
That's the best thing ever.
Yeah, we had gone to an open house for someone here or someone back home, and they had one of those lazy Susan things where it went into a closet on the lazy Susan,
Push it
just
right in.
push it in, pull it out every year, and I thought,
you can turn it around.
sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I saw that.
Smart. See, I think I would have thought, but I'm not obviously in the same season as you, that as you get older, you put out more. And when your kids leave, because you can actually put out the breakables versus now, right now, I'm like, we're not buying anything nice because they're going to break it. So anyways,
Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you? That's what you would think.
Because this year when we decorated for Christmas, it was interesting. And I think one of our children broke at least 3 ornaments trying to put them on the tree because I would let them do it. So yeah, sometimes it's merry and bright and sometimes it's not. This is a time that Grant and I were like, okay, anyways, maybe we shouldn't have done this. So anyways. Oh, okay. Well, so getting into some of this more serious questions, so my husband Grant and I are going to be traveling for Christmas. We don't live near all of our family, sadly, but we do get the chance to go visit for quite a few days. And so, Dad, you always talk about thinking of the end in mind and what you want it to look like when it's over. And so, I've been thinking through how I can prepare and, how Grant and I can be on the same page, me and the kids. And so I wondered if you guys had any advice or things that you had learned along the way when we were younger about like how to make the holiday season less stressful, more harmony within your family if possible, because I know that you guys used to travel some too. So kind of share what y'all's experience was when we were growing up and anything that you feel like y'all advice you could give someone who has younger kids that aren't in the same season as you are now.
Did we learn anything?
I hope so. It's funny. I just did a webinar. We have a monthly webinar for folks who are part of Team Goby. If you go to beagoby.com, if you've not heard of Team Goby, it's a monthly subscription. And we do a monthly webinar. And I just did one on creating harmony in the holidays, And I won't go into all of it, but I gave like 5 things that I would do if I had little kids, younger children, and I was going to be traveling or going to have a lot of family together. And again, I won't give you all 5, but I will tell you one is I think that if once a week at least the family sits down and when they do a fun activity, the mom and or dad let them know what the next week is going to look like. Kind of a family meeting, like, okay, next week we're going to do this and remember this, and this is how much tablet time you get when we travel, and remember we're going to stop here to go to the bathroom and to get something to eat, and remember this. Anyway, you just tell them what the next few days are going to be. Then you get to grandma's house, and hey, this week we're at grandma's. Now remember, we all go to bed at this time, and so it's not an in the moment kind of thing that you're reacting to the lack of normalcy and routine. It's you're creating a new normal in an out of normal routine for your kids. And I think that could be that's one of the best things that families can do. The problem is mom and dad are, you're stressed getting things ready to go or to have people to your home, or you're like you are, Bailey, Christmas crazy and you're just excited about the deal. And so we tend to have to react in that moment, and it doesn't ever work out the way we'd like for it to work out. I'm not saying there's any like magic pills, but I think that's one of the 5 things that I talked about on the webinar that I think you can do to make that season better.
Okay. Did y'all do that when we were growing up?
I think your mom was really good about, hey, we're going to to Grammy and Granddad's house, and here's how long it's going to take. And just having, just that calm conversation before we left. Now she had something when you said, why can't we do so-and-so? Ross never did that. He was perfect, but you did a lot. She could say, well, remember, here's what we said. And so there's something to go back to.
Mm-hmm. How did you guys manage, I assume y'all were traveling. Did y'all go to multiple places in one holiday, or did you usually only go one place?
For a few years we did. And then we said, okay, that's too hard, because we were going Houston and Central Texas. I mean, so they were long distances, not quite the same as what you do, where it's like an hour away, but still it's hard. But so we only did that for a few years, and then we said, okay, we're going to stay here, or either we would do one year. So, but I think, just looking back, I think it was just like, not try to do if there's so much you can do, but you got to say, okay, that's not healthy. We can't do everything as much as we want to, but just try not to pack too much stuff in.
Yeah.
And don't forget, I was leading a church then, and we had started, candlelight Christmas Eve services. And so that was kind of, for me, good, bad thing. The bad thing was I was really tired when I got home on Christmas Eve after 6 or 7 of those. But the good thing was, we couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. We were working on Christmas Eve, and so folks came to us.
Mm-hmm. How did y'all manage being intentional with your extended family and, making that a priority, but then also doing what was best for your immediate family? Because I think that that's something that is hard for lots of families is, it's important to do it all. Like, it feels like you got to do it all. And how do you balance those things? You have any tips for us?
I do feel like it's so important to make the effort to be with extended family, but it isn't always easy, and especially the older kids get and the more activities they're involved in, and your family's doing different things than Ross's family, and depending on how far away you live, it's hard. But I think one thing that we had to do too, because of working at the church, is it just didn't have to be the day. Like, it didn't have to be the day of. Like, it could be that weekend, or whatever. Which it had to be that way for us, but it also was. We just were like, it's okay. It doesn't have to be. And a lot of families that can do that day, it is like, everybody comes this day, or we don't do it. And we just had to let that go.
Yeah, and I think you've heard me say this about other things, but you avoid the extremes. That's the thing. The extreme is, we're not seeing anybody. We're not going anywhere. This is about my kids. Well, what does that say to your kids? What you're saying to your kids, that the whole world's about them. And that's the message they start receiving. So that's an extreme that you want to avoid. But then the other extreme is, hey, we're gonna run around with our hair on fire. Our kids are gonna be ballistic because we travel from one house to the next house to the next house because we want everybody to be happy. And that's another extreme. And so you have to find, I think, a place in the middle and be comfortable with the tension of being in the middle, that it's not going to be either extreme.
Do you have anything that y'all did? Well, so when we travel, Grant tells me that I turn into a different person that he does not like to be around. And it usually starts with the packing because it just stresses me out. And, in the past, we've gotten in arguments because I feel like I'm doing everything. He just wants me to tell him what he needs to do. I want him to just know what he needs to do. And we've had to learn, he packs up the boys, and I can't be upset if he didn't pack the outfits I like, but he's helping me. You know, like it's a give and take, and I'm going to pack up Esther or whatever. But I still feel like it's helpful to communicate beforehand before we ever are going to go on a trip. And so are there any things just between spouses, you know, you and your spouse, that you can do before going on a trip where you're going to be with different families and in some stressful environments to get on the same page and just would help communication?
Well, let me just tell you that that's just normal. Like, it's normal. And I just feel like everybody's out of their normal, routine. And so emotions get a little bit raised for everybody. And I personally, I needed to make sure that I was still giving him the attention that he needed, that I would normally give him if everybody else wasn't around, because then he knew I was still thinking about him, considering him, whatever. But I think too, what you're saying, you have to release some things like, okay, you pack the kids and I don't care. I mean, you have to, because I would have done the same thing. Like, I want to make sure everything is just right. We're making sure we get everything. And Dad would be like, fine, but, you have to give some of those things up and be okay with it and know that, at the end of the day, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I mean, what worked for us, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but, Mom decided what was going, and I was the pack mule because it was unfair. It's unfair for you to say to Grant, I want you to do this without me telling you what to do, and then being upset that there wasn't something there. And so my thing was, hey, you're better at knowing what needs to be there, and I can carry everything and Tetris, kind of play Tetris and get everything in the car the way we need it to go. And so for us, it was the separation of duties. But, the difference between, I think, your mother and you is she actually started ahead of time. Which changed a lot of things. When you're leaving the next morning and it's 10 o'clock and it's like, okay, let's pack. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's true. That is true. I am the worst procrastinator when it comes to packing. I hate it so much. Just talking about it right now is making me feel anxious.
You might want to go get started today.
For real.
Maybe you get going today.
Yeah. What about, like, I'm thinking about when Grant and I are traveling and we're in stressful situations, like say I'm feeling anxious in a situation and he's not, I feel like did y'all ever have to do this? Like, I feel like it might be helpful for us to have some kind of code word or something where we can communicate with one another. Like, I'm on the struggle bus right now. Or I'm feeling really one certain way. So that, because otherwise I'll end up blowing up on him later, but if he knew, oh, this is a really stressful situation for me, he could help me out. Did y'all ever have to do that or like figure out something for, when you're just in a more stressful environment with lots of people around?
I just feel like that you have to step back and think, why is he acting that way? Why am I acting that way? And, because there are those times where one of you's overwhelmed, the other one's not, or with their family or my family, it's just different, And so I think you just have to kind of give a little grace and say, okay, what's going on that's making one or the other react that way? And okay, I need to be more intentional about doing this or not doing that or checking in or, or even just voicing what I'm feeling so stressed about, but I think both going into it thinking there's going to be some times and we both need to be aware and just kind of go, this is not normal situation. We've got to just give each other a little bit of grace and not, react.
Yeah, and kind of, I think what we did was Mom kind of took the lead when we were with her family, and I kind of dropped back a little, and I kind of took the lead with my family, and she kind of dropped back a little. But part of maturity, it wasn't like this in the early years, but as we matured, it was like, hey, man, look, when it's all over, who's sitting here? It's me and her. It's not me and her and my kids and my parents, it's me and her. And so I think when it clicks that, hey man, we're in this together. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. Things get better than these. I mean, so you're going to be overwhelmed. I mean, it's the, holly jolly Christmas. I mean, it's a part of it.
Yeah.
And at some point it becomes not about each of you, but about both of you. And that's why I think a lot of this stress comes, because man, when we're in pain, it's, we become pretty narcissistic. It becomes about us. And so Mom and I don't know how far we were into it.
Yeah.
After lots of years of it not being a pleasant experience, of saying, hey man, it's going to be about us. And we're a team here. And I think that helped us the most.
Yeah, that's good for sure. I think that can also apply to the kids. I think about towards when you're traveling and they're not acting like they would at home, or they're doing different things. And you're like, for me, I really want them to be on their best behavior in front of our family, but that's like not realistic, but when they're acting out, asking yourself why, and evaluating that first before I'm quick to, be like so hard on them, I guess, because it is just such a different, they're in just different routines and things like that. So to have grace for them too.
Yes, for sure. Grace all around.
Yeah.
Grace for the crazy uncle and grace for your kid.
Exactly. Well, do y'all have any favorite Christmas traditions?
I mean, I feel like we've had good ones where, like, I just feel like our Mexican food meal on Christmas Eve night was always fun. And then and our stockings, stockings were always a big deal, and that was really fun for the giver and the receiver. I mean, Papa always does and did with y'all too, like the reindeer food or whatever. That was always fun. What else?
I think you covered them all.
Yeah.
We, Shine on Us became a huge part of our life. This song that we ended Christmas Eve with. And, when I stepped out of that role in our church, Mom and I started a new tradition. We went back in our room with these little wickless candles and found a YouTube Shine on Us, and we had a little Shine on Us moment, and it was special.
Yeah.
And so we have traditions from when our kids were little, and we're trying to build new traditions in this season of our life.
Yeah,
that's good.
And a big old steak dinner on Christmas Day. Woo-hoo!
That's right. And twice baked potatoes.
Yep.
Yum. So good. I love that. What about your favorite? Do you have any favorite Christmas memories that stick out when you think about, anything fun or funny or not so good? I don't know, just any memories you'd want to share about this time of the year with your families or us?
Oh, my favorite memory, I think, has got to be the year that one of my friends had the real deal Santa suit, and came to the house and walked in front of y'all's room, and y'all were bouncing off the walls that you had gotten to see Santa. That would be one. And then, Mom, I bet yours is when we were on the 30-acre place.
Yeah, and Ross got keys, and you got reins for a horse and a four-wheeler. That was
the best.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that was cool. I still remember that one for sure.
Yeah,
and I remember when we got Bud, I think, the kitten, and it was in a box.
Yeah.
And that was at the Keller house.
Yeah, I love that one. I just love it.
And Disney last year was probably,
that was great.
So exciting.
Yeah, that's about on Bud level right there.
It was fun giving it.
Giving it was much more fun than actually doing it.
Oh, just
whatever. It was fun. Gideon this year is like, I wonder where Honey and Papa are taking us next year. What are we gonna get for Christmas? I was like, might not be a trip this time. And it's so funny. So can't top Disney, I don't think.
I know, right?
In their eyes, at least. But
yeah.
I think I remember what y'all are gonna shake your heads at me. I remember one year and this could be a terrible memory, but Ross got rollerblades. I feel like everyone got rollerblades but me, and I was like, why does this entire family get rollerblades? And so now I look back on that and I'm like, it's just funny looking at it from a parent, because that always happens on Christmas morning, where for me at least, I feel like I'm so excited about giving my kids stuff, and then they always have something to say about it. And I'm like, really? What? I was trying so hard. And every year Grant's like prepared for my disappointment of some gift that didn't go good that I was so excited about.
I don't remember. I wonder what you got that I thought you wouldn't want rollerblades. I don't know.
I don't know. I remember trying to give you rollerblades and your mom said no. I don't remember.
That is not my like favorite memory. Just jogs. It just is interesting, like, to reflect on that now, being a parent and being like, oh my gosh, you can never win, you know? But I feel like, Dad, you've always too, you're good. Like, we've always done traditions, but then you always like to also change up things, which is fun. Like, one year you made homemade donuts for breakfast. And then I really liked when you started doing the family gift.
Yeah.
And I decided maybe we need to start doing that. When there's something I really want for our family, I'm going to give it as a family gift. Wow. Dad was strategic, and we got an Apple TV one year, and I was like, yes. And I look back and I'm like, that was smart. Let's do a family gift.
Grant, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, any last words of wisdom or things you would like to tell, the younger generation when they're in this season of the holidays, like advice you'd want to give them or things you wish you would have known?
Well, I was just thinking about when my stressor was everything needed to be exactly equal, down to the dollar and everything. And that was him. This was his reaction. And I would be the night before having it all laid out going, oh my gosh,
With her calculator. We're 37 cents off. What are we going to do?
And so I finally let that go. And but, gosh, yeah, don't make it too hard on yourself, I think. It's so sweet to be with everybody, and it doesn't have to be some huge thing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what I wish I would have known then that I know now is, the relationships are the reward of the holidays. That's it. And all the other stuff, there's nothing wrong with the other stuff, but it's all way down the list from relationships or what the reward of the season is. And so may kind of, lower your expectations of perfection and just enjoy the people that are your family and your closest friends. And it doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful and to be everything that God wants it to be for your family.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll sit here one day and laugh like we are about things that were a big deal that really aren't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Thank you. Well, we have to end on a cheery holiday note, and so we're gonna play a little game.
On this 15-minute little mini episode that is
exactly.
Now 8 minutes.
It's just been
special holiday one.
It's been fun. Come on, people will like it.
15 minutes.
Okay, whatever.
Sorry, Percy.
So I'm gonna play a song, a Christmas song, and I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna see if you can finish the lyrics.
I told her you'd be better, but I'm gonna try.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Christmas.
She did great, honey.
What's next?
I don't know the words.
All I wanted you is how it ends.
Yeah, you're right. That's good. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane.
Very good. Very good. Very good. That was good. Okay, one more.
Okay.
All right, let's see here.
Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle
Good
bell.
job.
Something, something, something.
Very good.
Sing a song from your first grade on.
Yeah, please sing us your favorite one.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Why?
Because I'm not opening myself. I get
You don't
enough
know.
ridicule.
You don't know one.
Oh yeah, you're
You
right.
don't know
I
one.
don't.
Yeah.
Sorry. I still remember.
You're scared.
Oh, yep. Cut them open. Fear comes out.
Wow. Hey, you guys, welcome to my life right here.
All right. Well, thank y'all for doing this short / 30-minute podcast episode. I hope
Our mini edition.
maybe we'll break it up into 2 episodes. We could do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you wish everyone a happy Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Love y'all. Merry Christmas to all our listeners.
Yes.
And we'll see you next year.
Next year.
Bye. Thank y'all for listening to this week's episode of our Hey Dad, Can You Talk podcast. We're so glad you were here. If you loved it, be sure to share with a friend. You can subscribe to us on YouTube or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. And we will be back with a new episode, not next week, but the next week. Also, anything we talked about in the episode, downloadables, free tools, anything like that, it'll always be in our show notes, so make sure you check out the description of the episode. We can't wait to be back with you so soon. Talk to you later. Bye.